All right, did you get the popcorn and soda?
Nah, I decided to have them delivered.
Oh, come on. Are you so high on your instep that you use delivery service but cannot walk 2 blocks to the store?
Let's start, shall we?
Welcome to Netflix on English.
Hello, everyone. This is the Netflix on English podcast. I'm Gary.
And I'm Leo.
And together we Netflix on English, or in other words, talk about the vocabulary from the latest film and series on streaming platforms.
In each episode, we tell you a story of main characters from a series or a film using just a few key expressions from it.
And today we talk about Ratched, a chilling drama series about one of the legendary fictional characters of all time, Nurse Ratched.
Nurse means someone, usually a woman, who takes care of the ill or injured at hospital. Nurses give patients their medication, check on them on a regular basis, and help them with simple everyday things.
As Nurse Dolly said in the series, nurses really are God's angels.
Nurse Ratched, however, is anything but an angel.
She's more like an angel of death.
Or perhaps mercy. So in 1947, Mildred Ratched, a gracefully sinister woman, is going to Lucia State Hospital for a job interview.
Now, Lucia State Hospital is an asylum. An asylum is a hospital for people who have mental illnesses like schizophrenia or multiple personality disorders.
Hey, I believe in the series, someone called Lucia State Hospital a loony bin?
Oh yes, a loony bin is a slang term for an asylum. But nowadays, if you use it in a conversation, it can come off as rather offensive.
Got it. So, it's important to note that Lucia State Hospital is not a typical asylum.
It's definitely a dangerous place. The head of the hospital, Dr. Hanover, performs rather disturbing experiments on his patients.
Oh, don't remind me. That man who was boiled alive during hydrotherapy gave me nightmares.
Yes, that was creepy. Anyhow, Mildred had an interview with Dr. Hanover, during which she impresses him with her incredible experience.
That's right. Why don't we listen to Mildred herself talking about her credentials?
I island hopped with Admiral Nimitz's boys, from Tarawa to Saipan to Okinawa. You'll see that's where I became familiar with administering anesthetics. I'm well versed in all the blood derivatives, oxygen therapy, and of course the treatment of shock.
So, Mildred Ratched is well versed in all the blood derivatives, oxygen therapy, and the treatment of shock. That means she is highly experienced or skilled in all of these things.
I guess you can only be well versed in the blood derivatives if you know what they actually are.
I think they are products derived from human blood.
Why, thank you, Captain Obvious. Anyhow, as the series progresses, it turns out that Nurse Ratched is also well versed in all kinds of crimes.
Oh yes, she knows how to use other people to get what she wants, and she doesn't care if they suffer in the process.
But Nurse Ratched doesn't really make people suffer just for her own fun.
No, she definitely has her motivation, but let's not run ahead of the story. So despite the fact that Nurse Ratched is well versed in many subjects, there is one treatment she masters right during the series.
How to drive sharp object through people's eyes?
Exactly, the famous lobotomy. Do you remember what was the purpose of the lobotomy?
No, I'd rather not go into such cringy detail.
Oh, you are so sensitive. So the lobotomy is a procedure in which some of the nerves in the brain are cut. It was supposed to treat severe mental illness. Patients who went through lobotomy became calmed, but also often mentally dull.
I wonder if they still perform lobotomy nowadays.
Thankfully, no. There are far less barbaric ways to treat patients with mental illnesses.
Hopefully, they don't need a drill or an ice pick for that.
Anyhow, it appears that some hospital staff don't feel comfortable with the use of lobotomy.
Oh yes, soon it appears that Nurse Ratched is the only one who actually has the stomach for the procedure.
Aha. Unlike Nurse Bucket, who doesn't have the stomach for, or in other words, isn't brave enough for such an unpleasant operation.
Nurse Bucket literally doesn't have the stomach for the lobotomy. Let's replay the iconic ice pick scene.
And we tap the ice pick, driving it 5 centimeters into the frontal lobe.
Oh, look. My peach.
I think that's the best illustration of the expression.
Let's face it, you didn't have the stomach for the lobotomy scene either.
I didn't. Such scenes in films and series always give me the chills. That is, whenever I see them, I become really nervous, even frightened.
Mildred Ratched herself can give you the chills. She wasn't the only character who leaves such an impression though.
Oh yes, there was another character who gave everyone the chills. In fact, it was because of him that Mildred Ratched started working at the hospital.
Indeed. So as we soon find out, among the patients of the asylum was Edmund Tollison, the infamous killer of 4 priests, and Mildred Ratched's brother.
And that is why Mildred Ratched decided to work at that hospital. She wanted to get Edward out of there. After all, she still had to repay him for saving her life.
Well, let's not reveal any spoilers, but rather recap the vocabulary.
Alright, so a nurse is someone who takes care of the ill or injured at hospital.
Asylum, or loony bin, is a hospital for people who have mental illnesses.
If you are well versed in something, it means that you have a lot of knowledge about something.
Lobotomy is an invasive surgical procedure that used to be performed on people with mental illnesses.
If you don't have the stomach for something, it means that you're not brave or determined enough to do something unpleasant.
And if someone or something gives you the chills, it means that you become nervous or frightened when you see them.
That's it. Make sure you subscribe to our podcast to hear us Netflixing on English from other series.
That's all for now. So from Gary
And Leo,
thanks for listening. Bye-bye.
bye!